From the Night Shift Crew Studios in the DC metro area, this is The Statement Show. The lights are on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kyle Klessinger from 30 West Entertainment, and you're listening to The Statement Show with Zach and Terry.
Hi, this is Stanton Friedman, the original civilian investigator of the Roswell incident, nuclear physicist, lecturer, author, and you're listening to me on The Statement Show with Zach and Terry.
Hey guys, it's Ivana Kadabra of Macabre Theater, and you're listening to Terry and Zach on The Statement Show.
Welcome back to another edition of The Statement Show. I'm Terry James.
And I'm Zach Sheehy, and we're the podcast that fits in no category.
That's right, Zach. Today, we have the star of Freddy vs. Jason, Transformers, Resident Evil, but of course, you know him best as Scut Farkus, the bully from A Christmas Story. So help me God, he had yellow eyes. Zack Ward, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. I appreciate you coming on, man.
My pleasure. And let's be honest, I wasn't the star of those movies.
Come on.
I was the supporting cast actor who usually dies horribly. I don't want to misrepresent my work ethic, but yeah, I appreciate the kindness.
Yeah, but we can.
That's true. Yeah. Lie your ass off. Have a good time.
Yeah,
you're a star to us. I mean, we haven't started any movies, so I mean, you're a star to us.
That's kind, guys. So how you guys doing?
Great.
Doing great, man. I appreciate it. Obviously, we want to get to A Christmas Story because that's the easy one, but kind of want to take it back just a little step, if you don't mind.
Sure.
According to your IMDb, it says that actually your mom wanted you to be normal, quote unquote. Your brother actually intervened on this. Is that correct?
Yes, it did. I have an interesting family. We all have different last names. My mom maintained her maiden name. She's an actress, so her name is Pam Hyatt, Hyatt. My older brother kept his father's name, which is Foster. So my older brother is Carson Foster. I kept my father's last name, which is Todd Ward. So my mom was kind of hippy-dippy back in the day, enlightened actress, trying to change the world, and had a couple of baby daddies. Got married once. And then my father was, they didn't get married, so I'm either considered a love child or a bastard, depending upon what mood I'm in. So yeah, I wanted to get into acting, and my mom said that I should lead a normal life, and my older brother convinced her otherwise, saying, what is the definition of a normal life? And I'm not sure if I'm grateful or cursed that moment. But either way, it was the one that changed my life.
What was it did your brother actually see something? I mean, were you guys always acting and horsing around at the house or something? Or what made him actually?
Actually, no. I was we traveled a lot. I went to 8 different schools before junior high. So I was traveling around the country with my mom as she was looking for work and working in films or theater. And I was in Stratford, Ontario, and I watched a performance of Taming of the Shrew. And my mom had actually explained all the jokes to me, which were pretty crass. I mean, most people don't understand that Shakespeare, although it sounds elitist now, like, oh, Shakespeare's for fancy people with tuxedos who say things like, oh, it's so erudite. But actually, Shakespeare back in the day was the Married with Children. I mean, there were lots of titties and ass and wiener jokes in Shakespeare's plays. And my mom would explain them to me as I was a child as best she could without being, crossing the line, so that I could actually enjoy the plays. And there is a line in Taming of the Shrew where this guy says, my tail and your tongue. And he's saying, I'm going to put my dick in your mouth, for lack of a better term. And my mom explained that to me in a way that I thought it was funny and naughty, and there's wieners, and why would you show someone your wiener? Because I was like 8 or whatever. But she wanted me to be involved in theater, in the understanding of it. So when I saw this guy perform that line, I was really excited to hear a dirty joke said in public, tee-hee, titter-titter. And he said it sort of like the way people were used to do Shakespeare, which is very removed from normal people. It doesn't relate. Everything is very elitist and effete. And he said it like, my tail and your tongue. And everybody watching it made sort of clucking noises as if they were supposed to be impressed with the line. No one laughed. And I thought I could do a better job than this guy. So that really was the beginning of my career, was me thinking I could do a better job than that guy. And me then begging my mom that, like, I want to be an actor, and my brother, her saying it's you should have a normal life, and then my older brother getting involved in it and asking her for the definition of a normal life, to which she had none.
So was The Christmas Story like your first role, or did you have something going on before that?
I had done commercials before that, but that was my first feature film.
Okay. Did the movie really take off in the beginning? Was it like an instant success, or did it take a while to kind of...
No, not at all. It came out for a week and a half in movie theaters, and then it was replaced with Rambo 2. Then it came out the following year in movie theaters again, and it never really had that much impact in theaters. It didn't have a lot of press behind it. It just kind of languished. Some people liked it. Some people didn't really care.
Funny, it kind of took off, and it became like this enormous thing. It's now up there with It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it's in the Library of Congress, and it's been entered in the Library of Congress as one of the most important films of the last century.
So you've been immortalized. Wow.
Yeah, no shit, man. Yeah, no, it is. It's a thing, you know. It's I get asked this question, and I'll be honest with you, it's a pretty stupid one. People say, "Did you ever think that this would happen when you did the movie?" And it's like, "A fucking course not. I didn't. I was 13 years old. B, I wasn't able to predict what was going to happen with the different mediums of television, cable, VHS, DVD, 24-hour marathons. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Sure.
How many different things came into play to make it what it is. So do you guys want, I'll give you the quick breakdown of how it became what it is. Do you want that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Comes out in movie theaters 2 years in a row. Nobody really gives a shit. The guy who was the critic on Entertainment Tonight, was it not Elmer Leonard? That's the writer, but it was...
Is that the right
what?
guy? Somebody Moulton?
Yeah, Leonard Moulton. Thank you.
Okay.
First year, he basically shits on it. The second year, he comes out, he apologizes for his previous year's analysis, critique, and reissues his critique saying that it's a classic. Amazing. Then nobody really cares. However, it comes out on VHS. That's back when VHS was a big deal. The VHS tapes themselves of the movies cost like $80 to $100. That's when $80 to $100 was actually $80 to $100, not $20 like it is now. So people treasured these VHS tapes, and they traded them back and forth because there weren't a lot out there, and they were very expensive. Remember this, or you guys are too young?
No, actually, I'm following you. Go for it.
Okay, so that happened. So it becomes an underground thing. When I was 17 years old, I was working in a deli. I was a waiter, and I remember a family telling me how much they loved that movie, how they watched it every year, and they've been trading it back and forth. And that's 4 years after I shot it. And then they asked me to go get them a jelly roll and some cream cheese. But so that's when I'm 17 years old. And then a little bit more in the distant future, MGM sells off part of their library, which, not MGM. Yeah, MGM. Yeah, they sell off part of their library, which holds A Christmas Story. They sell it to Turner Network Television. Turner Network Television gets it packaged in with a bundle purchase. So, for example, you buy these 4 other movies that are expensive, and you get these other 2 pieces of shit that nobody cares about, one of which was A Christmas Story, because it never did any real fucking numbers. So then Turner ends up having a Christmas marathon. They're like, well, what are we going to air? Because no one watches movies, no one watches television back then on Christmas, because everything sucks.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't what was done in the early 90s. Middle 90s, right? Mm-hmm. No one really stayed home to watch TV. So they play something that they don't need to spend any money on, A Christmas Story. So they run a 24-hour marathon for that. Why? Because they've got no advertising. No one's paying money to put commercials in those spots because it's Christmas and no one watches TV on Christmas back then. So Turner starts running this 24-hour marathon, and the numbers keep on going up and up. And up and up. Now, it's not the first time a TV marathon has ever been run. I'm sure you guys remember Wizard of Oz tried to do it.
Yeah.
That worked for 3 years. The Sound of Music did it. Only worked for 2 years. It's a Wonderful Life worked for 2 years. At Miracle on 34th Street, other films have tried it. No other film keeps on getting an audience coming back to it.
Let me ask a quick question. If I remember correctly, didn't they actually put a spot out with It's a Wonderful Life that they made a promise that they would play it one time for the year and no other times because they played it to death?
And I think the problem with those other movies is that they are, how to say this? They're so stylized. Like, It's a Wonderful Life is a brilliant art piece of a film. Mm-hmm. But who's going to want to fucking watch that? Little kids?
Yeah.
Little kids aren't going to watch that. I mean, it's a great film to watch when you're alone and drinking and considering suicide. Or perhaps you're in your 80s and you're trying not to consider suicide.
I love that movie. But
I don't.
But do you watch it with a group of other people?
Oh, hell no. It's usually on. I'll catch it somewhere in the middle. Or I have the DVD, but to be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I actually took it out and watched it. So I understand what you're saying.
Hold up. You actually have that on DVD?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, my
But God. I have the special Christmas pack of A Christmas Story, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's
like, those films are things you watch by yourself while you're drinking scotch and have a gun in one hand. But it's not a group experience. You don't watch It's a Wonderful Life, start laughing, turn to the friend beside you, like, right, remember that? You don't fucking quote It's a Wonderful Life to your friends and make them laugh. Everybody gets kind of sad because they remember when Grandpa passed. Like, it's not a group experience. Mm-hmm. So Christmas Story started building this audience. And I think why it worked is because little kids see themselves in it, because Bob Clark, he literally cut the floor out of the set and lowered the camera so everything was from the POV of a child. If you look at the movie, that we're not looking down from the adult's point of view towards the child, we're looking up. So the children feel like it's the movie from their perspective.
Oh, wow.
Adults remember being that child. The slightly older adults remember being that child, and they have their own children. The older adults have children and grandchildren, and they've been each part of those positions. The movie ends up being like the riddle of the Sphinx. What walks on all fours in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 at night? Man, remember, you're on all fours when you're a baby. You walk on 2 legs, and then when you're older, you have a cane. This movie translates to every single one of those stages of life, which is why I think it keeps on getting carried on. And although we shot it in the 80s, the movie takes place in the 40s. But unlike Miracle on 34th Street, which actually did take place in the 40s, and it had that weird sort of mid-Atlantic accent thing where everyone's like, "Hello, mister. How are you? It's so good to see you. You understand? What's happening, Mr. Fancy Pants?" Like, which sounds retarded now, you know?
Right.
And no 8-year-old kid's going to look at that and be like, wow, I can't wait to go to school and talk all old-timey, right? Mm-hmm. It separates, it's so stylized because of when it was shot, it ostracizes a modern audience and it becomes dated very quickly. Whereas A Christmas Story, because it was shot in the 80s, but it takes place in the 40s, it was already a stylized version of a looking back through the lens of life when it came out, so it became timeless.
Kind of had that Norman Rockwell look.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And now this is me analyzing the movie, which I've done quite a bit, whether I wanted to or fucking not. And I don't take any responsibility for this. This isn't me patting myself on the back. I had a small part in an amazing film. The director, Bob Clark, Gene Shepard, the writer, those are the gods of creation of that film. But I think people should understand as filmmakers why this works so perfectly and why I think it's, I don't know if you guys have kids, but I've watched 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds sit in front of that television or in front of that screen and they watch it and they shut up.
Right.
And it isn't a Pixar movie and it isn't bright and shiny and it doesn't have dancing dinosaurs or ray guns, and they shut the fuck up and watch the movie and laugh.
Correct.
That's kind of amazing, dude.
Yeah, me and my daughter watched that. That's a tradition. So
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, can you, when it comes on 24 hours, how many times have you ever actually watched it straight? Can you watch it 24 hours, or is this just not?
Think about it too, man. Like, that's me as a child. Do you look at pictures of yourself when you were 13?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 46 years old. I'm glad to be alive, but I definitely don't have the full head of hair I did when I was fucking 13. I didn't have my life in front of me the same way I did when I was a teenager. So, like, and those people, a lot of the people I worked with in that film are dead. So there's a little, as the French would say, ennui. Like sweet sadness, but there's only so much I can take. Because like Bob Clark was a big part of my life. The man's dead, and I watched the film, and it reminds me that yes, one day I will pass this mortal coil. So it's not really for me the same Christmassy moment it is for everyone else. Oh, yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. You were there, so you have a different take on it.
Yeah, it's a little darker for me.
Okay. So how do you keep in contact with any of the cast members, other cast members?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I see him over Christmas. Yeah, we're good friends. I mean, we share something that very few people do. We've known each other for 33 years, and all of us are part of something that nobody else can really experience.
Yeah, I see they have the house set up as a kind of like a tour now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's actually become one of the largest domestic products for Cleveland, next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So when I first saw the movie, the thing that really took off to me was Darren McGavin. When I recognized him, and that's kind of what made me stop my tracks when I first saw it. And because I remember watching that with my dad, the Night Stalker series that he did. That movie just it reminded me a lot of my father, and I think a lot of people kind of look at it that way. The whole battle with the furnace and everything, and and of course everybody had a bully in school, and I guess that was the thing that you took on that image. You were the central bully.
Yeah, you played that very well.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, like, now, as far as for yourself, I mean, can you actually still embrace? I know that Peter Billingsley kind of has, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's on to huge things, and I understand that, but it almost seems as though when someone talks to him regarding it, it's sort of past with him. It's let's not talk about it any longer. I mean,
yeah, he's a little weird about it. I'll be honest. His whole attitude about the whole thing is a little odd. I don't know why he's so dicky about it. Like, he's a good guy, but he definitely has a chip on his shoulder about that movie, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe I do, but I had that attitude when I was much younger. My attitude was like, I do other stuff too, I'm going to be in other things. I'm going to make it one day, I had that chip, but the thing with A Christmas Story is it's lightning in a bottle, man. That shit doesn't happen every day. And for example, I would say that Elf, the movie that Peter produced and Jon Favreau directed, I don't know. I think Elf is a really, really, really good movie. I think it's classic, and it may end up becoming something like that eventually. The problem is it hasn't
done a Christmas Story. No way.
It's not, and it's like, it's close. It's damn good. It's a really good film. But to be part of something like Christmas Story, it happens once, man. Like, I did Transformers, the original Transformers, and I think that was the best one out of any of them, to be honest. But I guarantee you, in 30 years, no one gives a fuck about the first Transformers. No one's going to, come on, everybody, let's first Transformers again, like we did with Grandpa. Yeah. It's a shit. It's giant CGI robots, and when they first came out, that was cool. But now we see it in everything. It's on Saturday morning cartoons. So I don't care. But the story value isn't connected. I mean, being part of A Christmas Story is something that you never get. And if you get it once, you're lucky.
Just think maybe he got tired of people pestering him about it, because he kind of has that same look to him. It's like when you look at him, you're like, wait a minute, you're that kid from that movie. Yeah. And
everywhere he goes, he's being told you'll shoot your eye out and shit like that. I'm sure it gets old. I'm positive it does, but I don't know. It's sort of what made him.
It is and it isn't. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to talk to Peter about that. To be honest with you. You'd have to talk to Peter about that.
Now, do people recognize you right away?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to be honest, when I look at your adult picture, it not instant for me. So
really,
one of the few, because most people can come up to me and ask right away.
I could see it. I mean, I don't think you've aged a day, personally.
Well,
I don't think it looks
right. You're a lying sack of crap, but.
You know, that the way you were talking about, what was it? It's a Wonderful Life. That I feel that way about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's the only other one besides A Christmas Story that I think that I maybe could watch 24 hours. That's about it. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't like Miracle on 34th Street and all the rest of them do nothing for me.
I would say Shawshank Redemption. That is a movie that if it's on 24 hours, I don't have to watch it every single second. With my head turns and I pick it up, I'm like, ooh.
Shawshank might be my favorite movie ever. I'm with you there, 100%.
It's a perfect movie.
It really, really is.
Yeah. Well, Morgan Freeman narrating it helps.
Obviously, could narrate a bag of Frito chips, and it would be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
you're right there. I mean, obviously, you were talking about moving on, and you know, we've kind of talked a good bit about A Christmas Story, but the one thing that I'm going to be honest with you, when I watched Freddy versus Jason, I went through it, loved it, but I had no idea that was you in that tub. I had no clue until we went back. We started looking at things. I was like, that has to be amazing to be on an epic movie like that. I mean,
oh yeah, wow. That was really cool. I mean, I've gotten to be part of some really interesting franchises.
You have.
Transformers was great. Resident Evil Apocalypse was wonderful. I've done some, what else? Blood Rain was bizarre.
Was Apocalypse the first one?
No, Resident Evil Apocalypse was a sequel. The first one was much better, I think. But the one I was in was pretty cool. And I got to be the big Russian bad guy, which I'm neither big nor Russian, but
okay.
What I mean, you're kind of blowing off Sharknado here. I mean,
I didn't do Sharknado, buddy. I did Heart of Sharkness.
Heart of Sharkness. Okay, because it was saying on IMDb Sharknado, Heart of Sharkness, or something like that.
Yes, so it's Sharknado : Heart of Sharkness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sharkness was like the behind the scenes documentary. You know what Heart of Darkness is from Apocalypse Now.
Right.
So Heart of Sharkness is a mockumentary of the very first Sharknado movie, which was lost. And so it's do you know what Mumblepeg is? It's like when we improvised the entire movie. We shot it in like 4 days. Mm-hmm. It's actually pretty funny at certain points, and then it's just fucking stupid at others. But you know, I'm a working actor, so I pay my bills this way. So yay for shame.
No, besides A Christmas Story, what's your favorite movie you've ever done?
Let's see. Well, they're all very different, man. Like Transformers was fucking cool because you're in the desert fighting giant robots, billions of dollars. Almost Famous. Cameron Crowe was fantastic. Really enjoyed working with him. He was so nice. What else?
Did you get to hang out with Megan Fox when you were with Transformers?
Megan, we didn't have any scenes together. I met her a couple of times there, but she's married to a buddy of mine, Brian Austin Green.
Sure, absolutely.
He did a movie that I produced called Don't Blink. Netflix now, so you guys can go check that out since It's for you cheap bastards. But yeah, very nice person.
That's the way it's going, though. All the new movies are coming out on Netflix. Adam Sandler's got The Ridiculous Six that just came out.
Yeah, but Adam Sandler. Okay, the business is that Adam Sandler's shit is dying. Did you see his movie, The Cobbler?
No.
Neither did anybody else.
I mean, it's been a while since Adam Sandler's had a halfway decent movie.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest. The problem is, like, Adam Sandler is actually a really good fucking actor. Mm-hmm. He's really good. Did you see Punch Drunk Love?
I loved it. Yep.
Oh, he was awesome in that. Mm-hmm. But the audiences want to see, what is it called? Like
Happy Gilmore.
Gilmore's back in the day, right? And that was a good beginning. But then what's the other one? Adults or something like that, where they all...
Oh, yeah, Grown Ups, yeah.
That was so fucking stupid, man.
Right.
And I walked out of the and I walked out. I was like, I can't sit here and watch this. This is just insulting my intelligence. And it's not funny, not fucking funny. And so he's caught in a weird place because he's got an audience that wants that. The studios want to sell his shit to that audience because that audience wants it. But now the audience is starting to say, meh, it's not worth going to a theater for.
Mm-hmm.
So he's losing, I believe you should, hold on. I'll Google it while we talk. So we're like, opening weekend for The Cobbler. All right. Weekend box office. Did The Cobbler actually come out in theaters? And it wasn't a bad idea. It really wasn't. Okay. It did a total of 24,000 in theaters.
Oh my
dollars?
God.
Yeah. Pesos.
Yeah.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Oh my God.
I think took it back. But that's the point is like, it doesn't make enough money. Whereas like you look at a movie like Ted and
Right.
Ted was fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Right?
Never
Yeah,
saw the second
Absolutely.
one.
Very good.
Dude, all right. The second one I watched on a plane and I was laughing out loud.
Right. Yeah, that's a good movie. They're both good movies.
That's a good movie.
So what do you got coming up? What are you working on?
Well, you guys should go check out Don't Blink because I produced that. Brian Austin Green, Mina Zavari. And I just produced 2 more movies this year. Wrote 3 films, produced 2 of them, directed 1 of them, acted in 2 of them, starred in 1 of them. And so it's been a busy ass fucking year for me. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. So these 2 other features are called Restoration, and the other one is Bethany.
Okay.
I directed Restoration. James Cullen Bressick directed Bethany. And then the other film is called The Terror of Halloween. It is being in principal photography in January. It's in prep right now. It's a practical effects horror film. So I would say somewhat along the lines of The Krampus. However, The Krampus sucked. Did you all see The Krampus?
No, I have
Yeah,
not.
it doesn't interest me.
I have a problem. Here's my issue, and I don't know if anything that you're doing is this, but here's my issue. When it comes to horror movies, whenever they're PG-13, I'm out the door. I won't even.
That's right.
I won't do it.
Well, you know why they do that, right? They do that. The studios do that so they can get a wider spread on an audience base. But it's fucking stupid because, like, what kids are going to go see a PG-13 horror movie?
Right.
They don't have any money, and their parents aren't going to take them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to watch it on Netflix or a VOD. Sure. So the adults between the ages of 18 and 35 are going to go see a horror movie, and they want to see something with some balls.
I agree.
They don't want it trimmed down to placate everyone and satisfy no one. And so I think the studios are trying to find a way to. I mean, it makes sense for me if the movie is Hellboy. Did you all see Hellboy?
Parts.
Right. I really liked Hellboy. I love the comic book, and I thought if you looked at that movie, it was PG-13 because there was no blood. The movie was an action-adventure movie. It wasn't based upon blood and gore.
I agree. Yeah, no, like Iron Man and Avengers, those type of movies can get away with it, but I don't think like the Friday the 13th series would have been anything at all. I mean, could you just imagine if there was no tits, if there was no blood, it would have been awful. Nobody wouldn't have watched that at all.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous.
That's why I wanted to watch. I mean, I remember growing up and I wasn't, but probably 8 or 9, 10 years old when they first started coming out. There was actual titties on the screen. Yes, I got to see something. I mean, I just couldn't imagine this garbage of. I can't even remember the last PG-13 horror movie that was any good. I mean, I think I went and saw. I don't know what the hell that was, Silent House or something like that. Okay. And was
you're
Silent
saying,
Hill.
All right. But you're saying a horror movie, but the movie you just went and saw last night was PG-13, right?
No, that wasn't a horror movie, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. But exactly. That's not a horror film. That's an action-adventure film.
Yeah, any other thing I think can get away with PG-13, I'm okay with. Except for, I'll give you another example. Like when Eddie Murphy did Harlem Nights and all the Coming to America, funny to me. Then he started doing his daddy daycare bullshit, and it just wasn't good to me. I like TV shows with substance. I like them with raw, nasty words. I want everything that it's supposed to be. I don't want, like, if somebody stubs their toe, I don't want to hear, oh shoot, that hurts. Nobody does that You know, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, I get it. I don't know. Rant, baby. Go on. I follow you.
So
go ahead, Zach.
No, I'm just saying because it sounds like you're producing movies. You're doing more behind the camera stuff. Are you kind of pushing yourself towards that, or you kind of split your time between trying to get acting roles and doing producing? Do you see yourself becoming a director?
I split my time because the thing is I'm not a movie star where people are throwing me millions of dollars to get shit done. So I've got to. The thing about being an actor your entire life means that I've been part of the gig economy before the gig economy existed. Mm-hmm. Do you know the term I'm referencing, gig economy?
No, but why don't you explain it out for us?
All right. So you know what Uber is, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yes.
So you work gig by gig. Did you get a gig? Yeah, I had 12 gigs tonight. I drove 12 people around on my Uber or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. So that's a gig economy. And basically the terminology comes from people who play in bands. And, did you get a gig this weekend? Yeah, I got a gig. I'm playing my guitar at this venue, blah, blah, blah. So that's the backstory on the word gig economy. I've been in that since I was a kid because my mom was an actress. So you go from having a job to not having a job, one gig to another gig. And so you're basically unemployed 90% of the fucking time looking for work. Mm-hmm. So I've been part of that my whole life, which means you have to adjust. You have to constantly be looking for what the marketplace needs, how to fill it. That comes down to how much do you eat? How fat are you? What are you selling? How much hair do you have? Do you wear glasses? Do you not wear glasses? What are you looking like now? Are you selling that? Or are you trying to sell something you can no longer do? I'm obviously, I do martial arts, but am I Jet Li? No. So you're constantly adjusting your tool, which is yourself, in order to create the best product possible. And when I look at the marketplace, I'm a young looking guy. I can look like I'm 33 to 35, but there's a lot of guys in that category who are a lot more famous than I am, and they're going to get straight offers on work. I don't. So am I going to sit around with my thumb in my ass whining that the phone's not ringing to offer me a job, or am I going to get the fuck to work? Mm-hmm. That's what I've been doing for the last decade is I've been creating my own opportunities. So, that's kind of where my head's at. I love being in front of the camera. I love writing. I love directing. I love editing. I love producing. I love all of it. And I just want all of it to pay me a fuckload more money.
Yeah, that grind of auditioning and all that mess, that has to just suck. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
It can be an ass beater, dude. It can be a serious fucking ass beater. It can really break you down, and especially if that's your only thing you do. Like, I could never go backwards and not be the guy who generates content.
Sure.
Because now I generate stuff. I make shit happen. And it garners its own traction and momentum. And I couldn't not be doing that. It's just, it would leave me so annoyed and frustrated that I'd probably punch myself in the face.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. That's just not something that I think that I could do. But I guess, if you're producing, directing, doing whatever it is that you're planning on doing or wanting to do, that has to make things a little bit easier, I suppose. I guess when you're producing, though, everything falls on your shoulders. So versus, you know what I mean? I guess that's a whole other just mess in your head there. Oh man,
it's none
I don't
of
know
it.
how you don't have ulcers.
None of it is fucking easy, man. I will tell you that. None of it is like, oh, that was fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, all of them. But
scraping by and clawing your way up there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I said it just sounds like you scrape by and claw your way up there, and you just keep moving instead of pitying yourself. You make it happen for yourself.
You gotta. I mean, it's too. And you also do it because you love the process. You love what you're able to learn and do.
I love a lot of what Bruce Campbell's stuff that he does, and that's kind of what he's done. He was also in Burn Notice. So before Burn Notice came out, I mean, he had been doing all these B movies. He even came out with a book saying, basically how he came up being a B movie actor and how you basically have to do it for yourself, or nobody's going to do it for you. So
yep. And now he's got that great show, Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
Which I've not seen yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't. I don't have that channel.
Oh, dude, that's awesome! You get to marathon it. There's two more episodes of the season. Show is great.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what, and they were really smart for doing that because I'm actually considering getting that channel just so I can watch that show.
No kidding.
And that's what they're going for, obviously. So
yeah.
Have you, just out of curiosity, have you ever heard them talking about trying to push out something like a Christmas Story, a Christmas Story 2? And
yeah, they did. They said it. They did. Yeah, and it died.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah.
It died a horrible, horrible death.
So did they make it, or was it just in talks?
Oh, no, they made a Christmas Story 2. Warner Brothers did. They had the rights for Ralphie up to the age of 16. And then this other guy I know has the rights from 16 onwards for the rest of his life, and for the character. And so his story was really good. The scripts were fantastic, and it was being greenlit. And then Warner Brothers' Christmas Story 2 came out, and it bombed so badly that it killed the Christmas Story sequel. So yeah, it's dead in the water, man.
Yeah, I don't think you can duplicate that kind of magic.
No way. And, the thing is, like, people, obviously, Christmas Story, I get it. But I don't think people understand Party of Five, Jag, Nash Bridges, NYPD Blue, Titus, Charmed, Lost, etc. And, if I'm not mistaken, it was you that kicked Walker Texas Rangers' ass, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. I love some Walker. I do remember that episode. I do remember that.
You kicked Chuck Norris's ass?
He kicked Chuck Norris's ass.
Let's be honest. I snuck up behind him a tree branch like a bitch is what he did. And Chuck Norris could kill me any day of the week. We all know that. So I don't want some rampaging Chuck Norris fan to prove, challenge me in a parking lot because you assholes are making me have to be tougher than I am.
Hey, but wait a minute, you are a martial artist, so
you do martial arts. Come on,
there's the movie.
What's Chuck Norris? 70 or 80 years old now? You got him.
He's Chuck fucking Norris. Chuck
But you're Scut Farkus.
Yeah, but I think Chuck Norris has shit harder dudes out than I am. So but he fought Bruce Lee. So.
All right, I tell you what, you can warm up with Brock Lesnar then.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Yeah, you're just trying to get me killed, is what I'm
So right. Well, he's got the total gym, and then
right.
So you just sit to see them commercials on TV all the time, and you've got movies out coming. You're producing movies. Anything that you want to get done that you could see yourself doing in the future?
Your mom?
Oh,
you have to dig her up. You got to dig her up first.
Besides porn, man.
Sorry, it was there. It was so good.
Well, this is going to go well for Christmas Story fans.
Come on, I'm a bully. It's my magic power.
Come on, man. How many people have asked you to say it? Cry for me.
You've got to do it every
Actually, it's a big sexual request, Kidding.
Cry for me.
Oh,
that would be funny, though. But anyway.
You better cut. Oh, what?
How many times did you do that scene? How many times did you have to do that scene?
Which one?
The one where he gets on top of you and smacks you around.
It was long enough. I was lying in the snow. It was cold. His mittens kept on slapping me in the face. So it was like being pimp slapped with pork chops. It was great.
Oh, so that was real snow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Didn't know if they did the fake thing back then or not.
Some of it, yeah. Some areas were fake. A lot of it in Cleveland was fake. And that's potato flakes, foam, soap foam, or chopped up pieces of plastic. The chopped up pieces of plastic hurt the most because when they go in your eyes, they scratch your eye like crazy. But yeah. So the stuff I was in was actually like -20 and cold and shitty.
Well, before we let you go, make sure you let everyone know how we can get a hold of you. Obviously on Twitter at Total Zack Ward. What you got? Facebook, and hold on, tell everybody where we can find you.
Let's see. Let me double check my Facebook because I have a couple. I've got. Oh, dagnabbit. Hold on, I'm double checking. Just edit this so I sound really smart when done. There's Zack Ward, and then there's also how do I find the other ones? Because I'm maxed out on my friends on my personal. Then there's Scut Farkus. There's also, I have a fan site as well, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but if you look up Zack Ward, I'm so sorry, everybody. If you look up Zack Ward, there'll be one with me looking like a pompous ass, and then there's another one where I look nicer. Go to the one where I look nicer, because then I can actually take in your friend requests, whereas on my personal, I'm over 5K, and I can't do it. But hit me up on Total Zack Ward at Twitter and Instagram, and then check out thesportsvote.com, because I'm involved in I'm sponsoring a constitutional amendment for the state of California to open up sports markets as an alternative to sports gambling. So sports markets, sports vote, not sports goat. I don't know what a sports goat is.
Sports vote.
Yeah, Zachary Chihai and a sports goat. That's your personal Christmas dream, I guess.
Well, I'm waiting for my DVD of you kicking Chuck Norris's ass. So the ass kicker of Chuck Norris.
We're waiting for that YouTube video.
Yeah. So the sportsvote.com, what we're doing is I'm sponsoring an amendment to open up markets in the state of California to offer an alternative to sports gambling, making sports like a NASDAQ of sports, so that there's a marketplace where you can invest in your teams without it impinging on the integrity of sports. Because as we all know through the history of mankind, sports and money has never gotten along very well without there being a problem.
Maybe a few problems. Yeah.
Maybe we should ask FIFA or Pete Rose. I don't know, everybody about this. It's the reason why the state of Nevada doesn't have a professional team is a conflict of interest.
It's true.
This is a fact. They don't have any professional sports teams because it is a conflict of interest. And gambling is not a bad thing. Gambling is great in casinos where they control access and they regulate the gambling. That's awesome because gambling, although it can be enjoyed, can also have addictive qualities and it can cause problems, just like drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, right? And we don't let kids walk into 7-Elevens and pick up a pack of smokes or a box of wine. But right now we're having gambling as an app on your fucking phone.
Yeah.
Which means anybody with the phone can do it. So you're not controlling access to gambling because fantasy sports is gambling. The whole fucking world knows this.
Wait a minute. But they're saying that it's skill-based and...
Yeah, see, the fact that you were making a joke about it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that drives me crazy. Like, I'm doing this thing, SIPA, Sports Integrity Protection Amendment. All right, it's a constitutional amendment for California to create a mandate for sports markets. Now, why should you do that? Because if California does it in the beginning, it becomes Wall Street West. Now, Wall Street started in 1817 in New York City. It made the city and the country billions and trillions of dollars. It generated opportunity, money, and businesses, commerce. People's lives became better because the stock market exists. That's a fact.
Okay.
So if we can do the same thing over in California and have the state of California create the laws and legislation to control it from the beginning, which is what we want them to do, so that it's all on a transparent, open field, so it's fair, and everybody can come in and start creating these markets, well, then we have a great opportunity. Let's give you another example of another great market, the App Store. Got it on your iPhone, you got it Google Play, on your Android device, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever downloaded or purchased an app?
Sure.
Do you like having that?
Absolutely.
Now, do you notice there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of small independent companies who are generating products and selling them to you through the App Store? So it's creating commerce. It's creating revenue. Those people have lives in this country and other countries, and you're generating money for them to live and succeed. Great. Fucking awesome. Now, the App Store and Google Play, they're regulating. They're making sure that you don't have kiddie porn apps coming on or things that are inappropriate or things that are dangerous. You don't have stalker.app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened with Draft Sports or DraftKings, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, the bullshit guys, is when the gambling laws were instituted, they were covering everything that made sense. And then they got to the point of like fantasy football. You're like, oh, what is that? Well, that's when a bunch of people in the office, they put together their fantasy team and everybody puts in $50 and Linda from accounting don't give a fuck. At the end of the year, someone wins $300 and they all go to Chili's and they have a beer and like, yay, Linda won. Mm-hmm. That's what it was for. It was like this little loophole because it would be ridiculous to take those people who are working hard with their daily fantasy, with their fantasy football teams as an office pool. What, you're going to put them in jail? That's ridiculous. That's draconian. That sounds like something out of like communist era Russia, right?
Right.
Right. So they left that little loophole. And then in comes Daily Fantasy, basically pushing a sperm whale through a doggy door. And then they look around going, what? What? We didn't do anything wrong. It's skill-based, correct? It's skill-based. When John Oliver on The Daily Show does sketch comedy bits about it, you know it's hit a tipping point where everybody can see that the emperor wears no clothes.
Well, that's where I got it from, of course.
Yeah,
John Oliver.
Let's call an ace of spades an ace of spades. Is fucking gambling. Be gambling. There's nothing wrong with gambling when you control access and you regulate it. It's great. It works. Outside of that, it fucking does not. Because you talk to the Nevada Gambling Commission and they're like, yeah, you're gambling, dude. I'm going to go out on a limb here and go, the Nevada Gaming Commission, they might know what the fuck they're talking about. Anybody going to track me on this?
I'm following you on this.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is create something new that can create a brand new economy. And I don't know if we're going to succeed, but we're getting a little bit of traction right now to the point where there's this website, I can't remember the douchebag's name, but he literally is sponsored by FanDuel, and he came after me.
Really?
Yeah. You're like, you got no right to take away my gambling. But we all know what happened in the Farkus affair. You got your ass beat.
Oh, boy.
Now, him, I will happily offer a fisticuff challenge and beat his ass into the pavement. Chuck Norris? No, I'm a giant pussy. This type of goo, I would put underneath my foot and curb him. So yeah, it's like, so that's, if anybody would like to see what I'm talking about, go to thesportsvote.com and you may be part of changing something that could change the world, which is kind of fucking cool.
We'll put your link up on our website along
Definitely.
with your Twitter handle, and we'll put the sportsvote.com link up on our website, so if anybody needs to find it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and my Instagram handle is the same as my Twitter.
Okay, so man, we really appreciate the time you took out of your schedule to come and do our show.
Oh, my pleasure. You pretty much just ruined my Sunday, but whatever.
Hey, we're okay with that, just so you know.
I got that. Definitely link up with me, and when you're going to post this, let me know so I can repost it for you as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure
we will.
Man. I appreciate it. And you know what? Congratulations on all your success, man. I mean, really.
Well, that's very kind of you. I mean, I don't look at it as success. I look at it like I have a lot more work I need to be doing to hit the level that I think I should accomplish. And it's not arrogance. It's look what you guys are doing. You create something because you try and you know you can. Mm-hmm. And there was a quote that I read today that was really inspiring. Where is it? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, here it is. We become what we think about. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And, the more you do, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you think about. So you're always constantly pushing yourself to fulfill that opportunity.
I like it.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I agree.
I appreciate you guys saying nice things to me. My attitude is I have so much more to do. Right. I have so much more to do, and I need to get the fuck to work because I'm a lazy bastard.
But you know what? With that particular attitude, you are going to go far, though, because, you could have easily just rested on. I mean, let's be realistic. You are in probably the most iconic Christmas movie ever. Freddy versus Jason is one of the most iconic, Freddy, Jason, whatever you want to call it, one of the most iconic horror series. Transformers was enormous. You've done some majorly serious movies, and you know what? You should be proud of yourself. And definitely the fact that you're just not resting on it means you're a hard worker, man. And like I say, I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind. And the same to you. Kick ass on this stuff, and if I can help out in any way, let me know.
Sure will, man. Appreciate it, and we're sorry we ruined your Sunday there.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you get some news on your thesportsvote.com, let us know what's going on. Maybe we'll put some updates.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys follow me on Twitter, right?
Absolutely.
We do.
So I'm definitely going to be able to post stuff as like right now I'm in the post process of the films, which means I'm in the color correction lab and I'm doing the sound mix. Nothing that's that fucking interesting. Like, hey guys, look, I'm looking at monitors and arguing about the sound of a creaky floor. Yay! It's really bizarre and slow and boring. It is the drudgery, the quagmire of film post. But so there's nothing to really talk about there. But when it's getting closer to things happening, yeah, follow me up on Twitter. I'll put it up there. DM me, or now you have my number, you stalking bastards. So just hit me up and
don't worry, we'll Twitter that out to everybody for you.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it.
I'll get you, yeah, that would be just delightful.
It'll be the last we hear from Scut Farkus.
Yeah, by all means, I'd love to help you guys have material to put out there, and I'd love the support and pushing stuff out. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Appreciate it, Zach. Thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Oh, my pleasure, guys.
Have a good
pleasure.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, fellas.
All right.
Thanks, you too, man. Have a good one.
That was Scut Farkus.
That was yeah, Zack Ward, man. That dude. Woo, he's passionate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Obviously he's very passionate about thesportsvote.com. We're gonna put that up on our website at thestatementshow.com. So look for him at Total Zack Ward on Twitter. And again, I'm gonna say it again. thesportsvote.com. Exciting.
Not the sports goat, the sports vote.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a signal problem there with the interview, cutting out a little here and there, so I think that was part of the problem. But you know what? Yeah. That's how it goes. So
that's just the way it is. Sometimes these things happen, but hey, he was kind enough to join us.
Imagine how busy he is at this time of season.
Oh my God. Oh, I could only imagine. And you know, if you look at his IMDb, he is in post-production for like 2 and 3 different movies now. And not to, like you said, around this time of the year, having to do every single thing for A Christmas Story. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Wow. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Think about it. Think about how many people really want to hear this.
Listen, jerk. When I tell you to come, you better come. What, are you gonna cry now? Come on, cry, baby. Cry for me. Come on. Cry.
I tell you what, I'd probably run if I heard that.
I am so ready for Christmas Eve right now. Oh, my goodness.
I think that's good for this one. Can't top that. I mean, he's great.
No. But even like we told him, man, congratulations, Zack Ward. You are in some seriously good movies, man. We appreciate you taking the time to come on. Follow us on Twitter at Statement Show. Make sure you follow Zach at Total Zack Ward. Am I missing anything, Zach?
Well, you can follow us on iTunes, The Statement. You can see us on YouTube, The Statement Show. We have a lot of interesting guests. We did Stanton Freeman and Ivana Cadaver and Bree Olson. I'm sure people have heard Fran Drescher. And now we can add Zack Ward to our list.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and see out his projects. Hit us up on thestatementshow.com and we'll have up his links there. And that is thesportsvote.com and at Total Zack Ward, his Twitter handle. And of course, hit our Twitter handle.
yeah, obviously. And obviously, we're probably not going to speak to you before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, happy holidays, and the lights are out.
See ya.
He's Chuck fucking Norris. Chuck Norris.
You're Scut Farkus.
Oh, it's so erudite. Oh, my pleasure. You pretty much just ruined my Sunday, but whatever. We become what we think about. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And, you know, the more you do, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you think about. So you're always constantly pushing yourself to fulfill that opportunity.